Are you living a content life or are you living a fulfilled life? I hope you're not living a content life, and most of you are. And this is what I run into a lot as I'm out teaching and coaching and training people. And how do you know that you're living a content life? You know you're living a content life when your main goal isn't really to get what you want out of life, but to stop feeling pain. When you start making all your decisions to live a life devoid of pain, to avoid pain, to get away from pain. Hey, you know, I had this really crappy life and I felt so much pain all the time, but now I don't feel pain, and that's better than where I was before. If that's you, then you're living a life which is a content life, not a fulfilled life. A content life. I'm going to tell you a story that my parents read to me when I was younger about a man. And it perfectly illustrates for me what it means to live a content life and what it means to live a fulfilled life. Well, there was a man, and he lived in a place where he had almost everything he needed. He had money, he had friends, he had relationships. His life, again, while it maybe wasn't fulfilled, it didn't have any pain, had money, had relationships, had the things he needed. But he felt like there was something more. And in order for him to get more in this specific story, he was going to have to make a really long journey. He was going to have to journey across the desert. He was going to have to journey across the ocean. He was going to have to build, he's going to have to build things. He's going to have to do a lot of things that would be really, really hard for him to get to this place that he knew had an abundance of the things that he wanted. It had the relationships that he needed. It had all the things that he really wanted, but he was going to have to travel the ocean. He was going to have to travel the desert just to get there. And really, in the story, what does the desert and the ocean and the lack of food and starvation and all the hard things that he was going to have to get through to get to this perfect place, what does that represent? Well, the truth is it represents pain. It represents the hard things that we have to do to get. We all have this place. I believe that there's this place for everyone. There's a place of everything you want, relationships that you want, jobs that you want, careers that you want. It exists. It's way over here, and you're living right here. Are you willing to travel this road to get to where you really want to be? If you're living a life devoid of pain, where you're avoiding pain, that lets me know you're probably not willing to go through this stretch. This is one of the biggest differences I find between people who are really successful and get everything they want versus people who don't. They really look at that road. They look at that desert. They look at that ocean. They look at the dehydration. They look at the lack of food, and they go, you know, I don't know if I'm willing to go down that road. I don't know if I'm really willing to get that thing done. But let me tell you something about a content life that I've personally experienced. People who live content lives, eventually their lives get destroyed. And you know people who have done this. They're trying to live a life without pain. They're trying to live a life where they're content, they're solid, they're good, and at least they don't feel pain anymore. But what happens? Something bad comes, something eventually bad comes along, and it destroys their life. If you're living a content life in your relationship, I can promise you, your relationship is going to get destroyed. You are headed straight for a divorce. You are headed straight for something bad coming your way. If you're living this type of life in a relationship where you're just trying to stay content, I can tell you where you're headed. If you're working in a job right now that you don't like, and hey, you don't like it, but hey, you don't feel pain. Hey, we're taken care of, things are okay. I promise you, you're headed towards something big coming your way that will destroy your business life. If you're headed towards spiritually, mentally, physically, I don't care what it is. If you are physically not, and you can tell I'm not either, so I'm headed towards something bad as well. But if you're living a content life in any aspect of your life, and you're looking at that road and going, hey, I don't really want to do that. That looks hard. One, it's hard, but you got to do it. To get to the life that you really want, you got to do it. And if you don't do it, I promise you, you're headed towards something that something bad's coming your way. And the way you know I'm right is because you've seen this happen in your life. You've seen this happen in your friends' lives. You've seen this happen in your family's lives. That people who live content lives, eventually really bad things happen to them. So I hope you're not living a content life, and I hope that in the future, you'll stop living a content life and you'll make the decision today to start moving towards a really fulfilled life. Also here at Jared Fager Academy, we have a class that talks about how to go over that ocean, how to go over that desert, how to really get what you want. And that class is solely designated to help you get a fulfilled life. Not a content life that's eventually going to get ripped from you, but a fully fulfilled life that you can be proud of. I hope to see you guys on the other side. Hey guys, thanks for watching my videos. Continue to show us your support by liking our Facebook page and subscribing to us on YouTube. Thanks again.